Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Ladies, don't be scared to speak. It's my stream. You can chat and chat and chat.
When you started talking, I had my phone on because I was trying to put welcome in everybody, and it was still, the music was still, the countdown was still going.
All right, it's just a bit of a delay. Welcome in,
Yeah.
everybody. A lot of us already know why we're here. We are here to talk about Mike the Naked Bigfoot, which a lot of us already know, Mike. There's some of us do, there's some of us don't. So we're here to talk about him in general. I know Mystical Love and Light, you kind of were just getting to know him, weren't you?
Yeah, you had shared out a couple of his videos, and I watched them, and so I thought, oh, he looks really cool, and I subscribed to him, and I always hear all of y'all talking so good about him, you know, how he is and everything. So you had shared out today his link, so I clicked on it again, and I wasn't subscribed to it again, so I had been dropped off. And so I went ahead and hit subscribe and subscribed again.
Welcome in, Hatchie. You had quite a bit of knowledge about him, sis, didn't you, Shara? You had quite a bit of experience with our Mike.
Yeah, he was most definitely one of a kind. An absolutely amazing man. Very acknowledgeable, very interesting, and very funny as well. Some of the things he said on his shows, especially about the one that he said about the female investigators and their boobs and stuff hanging out like that. You see every time.
Yes, he was some character, wasn't it? Guys, remember it is open panel. If any of you want to shit come up on the screen with us, we are just going to be talking a bit about Mike, a bit about some of our experiences with him, some of our favourite. Hi, Christine. I know we can't see you, but I'm quite sure Phoenix will tell us what you're saying. Phoenix, if you can repeat what Christine's saying for us. So we'll just talk a bit about Mike. Or you want to join us, Christine? Because do you want to join us? Because you knew Mike quite well. You knew Mike probably better than a lot of us.
Hello, everybody in the chat. Oh, Thea Lee Young is in here too.
Hi, Thea. Welcome.
Hello, Thea, sweetheart. How are you? Hello, Kathy. How are you?
What did our first experience, Mike? Our first experience, Mike, in Parachills. I remember in Parachills when we were all doing the we were really like gathering knowledge for people. We were trying to help people and things with paranormal, much like we do on our shows. But we were with a company that was doing all the research to try and push the research out in different directions. But really, we should have been focusing on our own channel all along. But we did meet some amazing characters, and that's where we met Mike. And at first, I didn't like Mike. I told Mike this once I got to know him. The first time I ever experienced Mike, we were all up on a live stream with Parachills, and the chat was going really good, and everybody was having fun. And I think there was about 6 people up on the screen, and Mike came in and he was being funny, but Mike can get a bit crude if nobody knows him. And me personally, it was just a bit much for me that night. I just thought, wow. So I really did take time to start with, and then slowly, I'm coming up on Bold, and after Parachills ended, getting to know him through Bold and Bonkers and different places that he came up on, and then watching him, I just took an instant like to him, and I couldn't spread his channel quick enough to people. The knowledge that he has about what is out there, especially in America, is crazy. You think these things are maybe sci-fi until you hear Mike explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that I think he absorbed a lot of people's energy as well. So that night with everybody being funny and the energy flowing, he just got carried away with himself. And I told him that it was just the swearing got a bit much. And from then on, it was just amazing. He told us the story when I can't even remember whose live we were on. It was about the old tree in his garden, and I thought he was actually telling a story out a book or something. I didn't realise this was a tree on his actual on his actual property. And basically, guys, if you watch it on his, I was going to play a bit of it tonight, but my laptop's not going to let me share it, so I'll just tell you about it. And then that encourages you to go over and watch the video. Basically, it's about this old tree that is on his property. It's an old apple tree, and it does bloom apples. The problem with the apples is the smell. They aren't available for human consumption, really, when you see them. They're a kind of blacky looking, I think he described them as.
Yeah.
And
They for mating?
well, they bloom all in the 1 week, seemingly. The 1 week the flowers come, the apples come, and then they all disappear. And we're like, where do they go to? And he's like, well, the old theory is that it was passed down for the generations was that the tree is actually there to keep the, let's say, energies in the woods next to him at bay, at peace. Because years and years ago, what had happened was somebody had started to trim the tree or something, and all these crazy things started to happen around the property. So basically, through all the older generation realising that it was the tree, they had to leave the tree alone. The energies, I think they must have been like Sasquatch or something, but they actually feed on this tree. So as long as you leave the tree alone and let them get their food, they leave Mike's property alone. But he does have a couple of seeds for the tree, and he was told to be very, very careful where he planted them and what he done with the seeds and things. So I wonder if his son knows about where the seeds all are. Do you remember that story, girls?
Actually, I remember, I think you were talking about it one time. And
probably.
Yeah, and I've always meant to go back and watch it, but I didn't know like the title of it or anything like that. But I do remember you talking about it before.
Yeah, well, I'll put it in the comments, guys. I did want to share it tonight.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how that it's actually a tree that, I mean, Mike said that the apples on it smell and things. Have you ever came across anything like that any years before?
No, just once they fall down, they start fermenting. Phoenix shared his link in the comments.
Good stuff, guys.
Yeah, but not on
What was your first
not
experience with him, Sherry? Do you remember? What's your first experience with Mike?
I do think
it was that live stream.
I think it was in Parachills that I see him.
Yeah, probably.
It was but I seem to like, I don't know, I was a bit different to Sister Drew because I actually did like the way that Mike was. I really liked that he was really open and really open to talking the way that he did, and I found him very interesting. But like Sister Drew said, for anyone that didn't really know him and probably didn't understand his personality, and that they would have probably took him quite offensive. But he was, like I said, he was just one of a kind, and his stories always seemed to be able to pull you in as well. Like he would be so engrossed in what he was saying because he was, as well as having the stories and their true stories, they were stories that you couldn't ignore.
Yes, exactly.
He was an amazing man and a great loss to this community. Yes, and a friend, you know what I mean? Like definitely. But he keeps in our heart. We keep him alive in our heart, and I think it was really beautiful the other day to see his name, because since he's been passed, we've not seen anything to do with Mike apart from on his Twitter and that. And to see his son come into Drew's stream that day and see his name there, it was really, really beautiful to see that.
Yeah, he's actually one of those people that every stream, no joke, every stream you do expect to see his name. And I was actually quite upset the other night when we were on Ghost Squad Scotland and my battery had died on my phone and Mike's son came in. And I do believe with what he was saying to Chris that he has taken over his dad's channel and he's doing his own channel. Phoenix has actually put it in the chat, guys. So that's going to be great to watch Mike's son start off where his dad left, if you know what I mean. If you know what I'm trying to say. Start where his dad left.
I have the chat on also on my phone, and Christine, where did it go? Oh, Christine says, let me back it up. He swore like a trooper, but had a heart of gold.
Yes. But I'm going to copy the link of that video I'm talking about, and I'll put it in the chat, guys, because you need to watch it. Mike tells it a lot better than I ever could, of course.
Yeah.
It's an amazing... I actually did think it was a story that he was telling either out a book or an old tale that he told, because he
Hi,
did tell
Diabolical Debbie.
tales.
Yeah.
But what I could gather with Mike was what he used to do was in his younger days, because he knew a lot about voodoo and a lot about herbs, oils and things, what he would do was, if he was interested in a story such as Mothman or something, let's say, he would go into these communities where it was sighted and he would try and talk to people. And a lot of the time, years and years ago, people wouldn't talk to him, especially if it was something else and it maybe involved tribes or something, such as skinwalkers or something. So Mike would actually go in with something like maybe some herbs, some whatever, chamomile for instance, it could be, who knows, and he would exchange his wares for knowledge. And so he got a lot of knowledge out of the people that actually experienced these things, especially skinwalkers and things. There's lots of entities, let's say, out there that you don't ever really think is real until you start hearing people of the Appalachian Mountains and such places, Tennessee and things, talk about them, and you realise, wait a wee minute, these things are real and they stay in my friend's gardens.
So where was
You
he
know?
from? Where was he from?
The foot of the Appalachian Mountains, Georgia, I think, somewhere like that.
Okay, because the Appalachian Mountains goes a long ways across.
Yeah.
If anybody's in the know, I think, yeah, it's definitely the Appalachian Mountains at the foot of them, but whereabouts, I don't know, Mystical. I do know that it's a long, long road. I'm sure it's Georgia or somewhere like
He was
that.
in Virginia. He was in Virginia.
Virginia, there you go.
Virginia.
Oh, okay.
And Christine was saying he was also the one that told her a lot about what was in her house as well.
You want to come up, Christine? You can keep your camera off if you want, sis. She said she was going to come up, but she's not feeling too well.
Yeah, because I can't get her on the computer, but I see her on the phone.
Why don't you come up, sis? And you don't need to even have your camera on. You can sit it off if you want. It's just so we know you're here and you can talk. Because I know you've got loads of knowledge about Mike.
Do you believe that dolls are haunted? I can tell you dolls are definitely haunted.
I want to know what you do. See the link that I shared, one of yous. Put it in the witchy group. Because I'm on my phone, I can't do it. And then if Christine or any of the sisters, anybody wants to come up, come up. I'll put it in the chat as well.
Hang on a minute, sis. So I'll put it in. Where do you want me to put? Is it all right to put it into the room?
Yeah, put it into the room here and put it into the witchy group if you can. And then that way they can grab it. In fact, in the room, just and then anybody that wants to come up and tell us anything about Mike, he's are welcome to come up, guys. He's just a unique character. So any of you want to comment about him? I'll just sit and blather for hours, you know me. Do you want to say anything? About anything you've watched about him? Dolls can be haunted. I have quite a few, Deborah. I'd love to get a haunted doll, but I would have to keep it somewhere that it would have to be a peaceful doll for a start. It couldn't be anything bad attached to it.
So see, a lot of people don't realize that it's the spirit that takes the vessel. The doll's a vessel. And the spirit takes that vessel and stays in the vessel as if it were their body. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand that.
Mike's actually had a cabinet. I think his son's actually got the keys to it. He's got a cabinet in his house that he had to train his son on every object in it, because some of them have got curses on them. Some of them were used in rituals and things. Do you want to share anything about Mike, sis? Because I'll just talk all night, you know me.
Talk away. Okay, I subscribed again, as I said earlier, to Mike's channel, and I just subscribed to Pete's channel. That's his name, right, Pete?
Yeah, Pete, yeah. I'll subscribe as well.
Mike.
So
Mike had a very interesting homeland. His forest was known as the No Woods, okay, which is where the Sasquatch and energies were supposed to live and reside. And I remember him telling us a story about there was, I don't know if it was a tree or something. There was a tree or something that was moved on his land, and he started getting a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that was the tree probably. He started mucking about with it, trimming it back and things.
He would also say that there was people that would try coming onto his grounds, and that would cause problems with the spirit and the energies that were there as well.
Yeah.
And Mike would have to do a lot of ritual things on his land to keep them at bay, and he would put certain things into his
Dobby socks
onto his property to keep them happy. Hello, Dobbies.
Yeah.
And to keep them happy and things as well. And it was also would explain, like Sister Drew was saying, he would explain to us about voodoo. He also done hoodoo as well. It used to go to a lot of different places. He went to a lot of different tribal places and went into a lot of spiritual practices. He did say to us that a couple of them actually disqualified him from going there because of his beliefs and what he'd done and stuff. But
I think he must have got barred out a few places.
He did. He weren't allowed to go back there because of his beliefs and because of what he'd done. And he was, I can't remember what his teacher was, but there was a very wise man that actually trained Mike in what he'd done. And actually it was him that saved him and learned him about things. Because Mike made it very clear that at first he kind of dived into it without really understanding it fully. So a lot of things were happening with him. And through meeting this guy and this guy educating him and helping him, he was able to come to understand that. And he went to a lot of different places in different towns and states. And he'd do a lot of workings and helping.
It's the place where he grew up as well. I mean, I think by the way that he always spoke was as if he did actually get brought up in a family of maybe not so much witches as such, but people that really did know their stuff, much like Mystical. He doesn't call herself a witch, but more spiritually. Yeah,
he had his family were very, very spiritual in that way. They knew a lot of like different folk tales and things and laws and stuff that they were into. So Mike did have a knowledge, but as he said, he didn't have a knowledge in the way that when he started doing some of the workings, he didn't quite understand why the stuff was going the way it was. So this is when this man stepped in and helped him to understand it more. And you would always find that anytime you had Mike come up onto a stream and he would talk on an event, there was always mad stuff going on. Like these sounds would trip out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Energies moving behind him and walking behind him. He had his female spirit that had no eyes. That used to communicate with him and help him and stuff. And a lot of people used to fear her, but she was really close to Mike, wasn't she? The female, this little female spirit.
What's wrong, sis? What's wrong?
Okay, sis.
What?
Are you okay?
Who?
You.
Yeah, I was getting my hair out from behind my neck.
Oh, I
was tickling my neck.
I was touching you. I was like,
mate. No, mate.
My hair the ceiling fan is on. And it was like blowing like my hair, and I was trying to separate it and get it in front and stop tickling the back of my neck.
What's Mike doing?
That might something or something, because that did happen when we used to talk with Mike or have Mike on panels. Things would happen. I'm sure it's definitely no different now, even though he's not hearing that way anymore. You know what I mean? Like things still do go on when you talk about him.
October's
I had a experience a couple of days ago, just before Sister Drew's and Chris's stream, because obviously where I've been going through some stuff, and I actually felt Mike around me, and I actually heard Mike say, "It's okay, Sherry. Like keep going, keep your chin up. You're too good to stop," and things like that. And I did feel him, and then I see his son come into the chat. It was like fate. It was like deja vu. Like it was supposed to. It was really weird.
Oh, I
Got good
definitely
Huh.
think Michael around us, yeah. We were investigating yesterday up at the Haunted Mansion, as you all know, and you could definitely feel
And I
Mike
felt him a
around.
lot.
It's
I
funny how
felt
we
him
were,
quite a lot.
yeah, it's funny how me and Chris was laughing a lot and things, and I feel that was Mike putting that happy energy in us, you know.
It's
I
like that
do.
day when we had techno up, and I turned around and said, "I'm feeling Mike, and I feel Mike's put him in this pathway." I don't
Yes.
know why, but when he started talking about certain things, I was like, Mike, it just would come in my head. Mike's
Yeah.
name came in my head, and I was just, it's to do with Mike. And even
Yeah.
Sister Drew and that was saying it in the chat, this is to do with Mike. Like, we could just feel that energy. Like, he's not like Mike, but he's got a lot of knowledge like Mike did. And
Yeah, I know what you mean.
we needed somebody like that in the community again. You know what I mean? Like,
He's
to
got a
carry
way
that.
with words and things that,
Yeah.
whereas maybe I struggle with how it explains something. So it's just he's one of those people that knows how to word things together. Because I'm
He
terrible
does,
with
and I
it.
do believe 100% that Mike was something to do with that. I think he thought we needed somebody else in the community.
Yay, we have Christine.
Hey, sis.
Hi.
Oh,
Hello.
hey,
You look
Christine.
lovely today, sis.
All right. Oh, you're so beautiful looking tonight.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
You all right?
How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Christopher,
The
I'm
little
welcome,
girl,
brother.
the little girl that he had following him from birth, and he also said was going to continue to follow him in his afterlife, was his no-eye girl.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I said. She didn't have no eyes or anything. Yeah.
That was what he called her.
Right. Do you want to tell the guys a bit about how you first met Mike, Christine?
I used to watch Dave Schrader all the time, and it was during an episode of the Paranormal 60 that Mike was on talking about his hoodoo, how he got into it, and what ultimately caused his death, and the rituals that he performed to spend a few more days with someone he cared about deeply.
Yeah.
Um,
You want to explain a
and
bit about that to the people after you explain how you met him?
yeah. Um, so after that, I ended up following Mike, and ended up watching Mike more than I did watching Dave. And I got to know him as a friend. He used to do Twitter space chats, which are pretty much like a phone call, like you do with WhatsApp. And he used to do it weekly. So I used to talk to him personally quite a lot. Got to
Yeah.
know him personally. So the ritual that he performed was a blood ritual. This person, he got a phone call saying that a close friend of his that was like a sister was going to die that night, and he couldn't bear not saying goodbye. So he did a blood ritual to give her 3 days of his life. So he gave her some of his life force to keep her alive till he could go and say goodbye. And little did he know that her peaceful death then turned into an agonizing death.
Yeah.
And he lost decades of his life in doing that. He was told by his, I forget what he called them now,
Like a
but
His
papa.
guides.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
for lack of a better word, yeah, his guides. They warned him that he will lose decades. And
Yeah,
he said
Papa
he didn't
Legba
care.
himself even warned him. He worked with Papa
Yeah,
Legba a lot, and
Papa,
he even
Papa
told him.
Thomas, yeah.
Yeah.
Papa Thomas taught him the ritual for him to have the knowledge but never to use. But Mike, being Mike, did what he needed to do for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says he did say in later videos that he did regret doing that to his family, but he doesn't regret performing the ritual. And yeah, ultimately he over 5 years. He died a slow and painful death himself.
Yes. He
Through
did warn
multi-organ
everybody
failure.
about it, didn't he? He did actually put it out there to people. That's why he told the story as a lesson, kind of, to people, that for all something looks good and it seems good to do, that there is sometimes really hard consequences
Consequences.
of
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. He always regretted the pain he caused his family. That was
Yes.
his only regret.
Yeah. Because also as well, he did say that he felt as if after it was selfish of him to want to say goodbye when he should really have just said goodbye, knowingly that he could say it, But the bond was that strong, I do believe, because it was she was a bit of a mentor to him, wasn't she? And he wanted that final connection, the
Yeah,
last
and
word of life.
after he saw the pain he caused her, that was when he first and foremost
Realised,
regretted it.
yeah. The way he said it was because essentially her essence was all medicated and being handled by doctors and things, but because he has then gave his essence to her body, the medication and things wouldn't have worked because it was running on his energy and his body, if you like. So he
Yep.
actually caused her more pain than she really could have went through. It's a shame. But he was an amazing person, talking about some of the stories that he must have told you, Christine. Did you remember the one about the tree?
The apple tree, yeah.
Yeah, the famous
Yeah,
apple tree.
yeah, he was saying they were clearing land because they were going to make more gardens and another greenhouse and other things on the property. And when he was clearing the land, all the activity increased on the land. And when he went and saw, I think it was his grandmother, um, the first thing she said was, "You didn't cut down the apple tree," because it
That's
Yeah.
what
was
it was.
Yeah.
they'd made a pact generations back that the Bigfoot on the property would stay away from them and do no harm to them as long as they did no harm to that tree that was dedicated to them, and the fruit that was on the tree was theirs, was not to be
Yeah,
touched by anybody else.
yeah. I think he actually did
Well,
a
it was a
video
weird
showing us
colour.
all last year, didn't he? He gave us an update on the tree and things. Mike was quite good at showing us all the property. He took us little walks and things as well. So definitely check out the channel, guys. It's great to watch it all. I'm only just able to watch them again. But some of the stories he told us as well about, he had to get some, I think it was, I don't even know if I should say this. He had to get certain things for certain rituals, and he wasn't shy in going and getting them, let's say that.
No.
Such
No,
bones and things. Well, he was an amazing,
yeah,
funny man. And also, if he started telling you a story, and then he maybe got sidetracked, he would say, "That's a story for another time," and you would have to take a drink of whatever beverage you were drinking
Yeah, it
at the
was
time.
shot.
Yeah.
That's a story for
yeah.
another day.
So a few people
Drew,
would
Another
end up
day.
drunk watching his streams.
Chris answered back. He said he's in bed watching.
All right, Christopher. My goodness, 11:30 at night, and you're all tucked up.
Don't scare us, dude. Don't scare us if you're in bed.
Yeah. Oh, he was just a unique character. He helped us though as well, didn't he, Christine? He was quite good at
He did.
helping people in the community. Yeah.
During one of his lives, we had been talking before it. It was on Shadow People, and he actually did a section specifically on my house to let us know what we originally had before Derby got possessed. And
Yeah, we'll stay away from
told us,
that one. Look at
Yeah.
Sherry's face. We're gonna stay away from that one. Sherry's eyes got this big.
No, it.
Don't use that F word.
we actually, Rhiannon and I actually laughed after that show, saying we wish Mike was there to tell us exactly what the hell was going on with it.
Yeah.
But don't worry, it's still under the Dragon Blood palm, so it's all good.
That's good. Just say
Yeah, no. If anywhere, that's the safest place with the dragon's
Yeah, for
blood.
sure.
So yeah, he told us originally, well, what we still have all the good energies. Like after everything went poltergeisty in here, I did a massive cleanse
If
to protect
anybody hasn't
everything.
watched that episode, go back on Drew's channel and watch it. Okay,
Yes,
go ahead.
the
Sorry.
Just
one
make sure you do still use protection.
It was good.
Protect yourself first.
Interesting.
Just
Sorry.
protect yourself before you go,
Yeah.
before you watch it. Just protect.
Yes.
Because things went wrong always here after
Sherry
that,
got
and
more than she bargained for. Put it that way.
Yes.
so did a few other people in chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, you took a little while to repair from that one, Sherry. But yeah,
I don't
like
even think I'm fully repaired even now. Still, to be honest, I still have my moments, but I'm all right. Don't worry, I'm not possessed anymore.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
so we had so yeah, anyone who was talking about haunted dolls, yeah,
They're
Go
definitely
watch
fine.
it.
yeah, so we've got a few Faraday cages in our house now. So the bedrooms are now protected by a Faraday cage, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, we after all that we had a bit of a poltergeist thing going on, especially in my room.
Oh my
Happy with
goodness.
that? Oh, it's
I think
okay.
it's you're genuinely just a pure hotbed activity for spirits. The stories.
It's nuts though, because like you don't realize it at the time when it's going on. But when I looked back on it, you could see that my eyes changed. Everything switched. Even the other day, like when I was the other day, I was watching a video on mine that I'd done. I think it was when I was doing the dancing and that. You can actually you see my face and my eyes completely change when I was dancing. Like you see the eyes go from like they were like a yellow color. They went yellow and then went like to my normal color. Like that was when we was doing I was doing the witch dance and I was about the burning and like
Right.
that,
The
how we'd been
energies.
doing it wrong. And all of my eyes changed and everything. I was just like,
Wow. There you go.
because it still fascinates you, even though you know you've got those abilities and you can do it. You still find it fascinating when you look back on it because you just think,
Yeah,
oh my
because
God,
that's the energy kind of going
Yeah.
through and fueling
Yeah,
your
and that's what it was. You see my face. It was like it was another female's face, just like stared like at us. It was nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, when you go, Christine, sorry, we always get saved.
No,
That's a story
you
for another day, Mike, and it's not got a drink.
I've got water.
I'll kid on.
I still got Dr. Pepper from my sandwich earlier.
There you go. That's just as
Yeah,
good.
no. So yeah, he just no matter what you talked about, he always knew what was going on. And if he couldn't
Yeah.
tell you, he was the one that told my kids about the Hat Man. And they visited them. He visited them from like 4 or 5 years old, if not earlier. And he came and visited Brianna again after that live.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've said to Drew, I've said to Chris, I've said to Sherry, I think it's really weird to miss someone so wholeheartedly that you've never met.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like Bree can't watch his videos anymore. She can't.
Yeah.
She's not.
I've
she's
just
not
only
ready.
been able to watch them.
Yeah,
It's
Bree's
because
not
Mike
ready.
was a strong character, isn't it? Because he did come into a lot of the live streams that we were all in. So
Thanks,
he was
Sherry,
in
if you did it.
He was
Yeah,
always
and
supportive
any
of
community
everyone.
that we were in, he did come into the community. So you kind of seen him everywhere, and then he would do his own lives. So you miss just seeing him come into chat and say hello and things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird not having him in there.
And
I
I mean,
think
as
his
much as
son channel's going to be good. I think his son's going to kind of start telling his stories and things, and maybe introducing us
Yeah.
to some of the cabinet items. Ooh! That'll be
Oh,
interesting.
and
that'd be good.
like he said, he's editing a video now, which was the last one his father did. So that's going to be his first video he puts up, was the last one he did to his family, that he's editing the family stuff out of it, and
Do
then
you
he'll
imagine
put
how
that up.
hard that is? Yeah, that'll be
But I mean,
emotional.
Yeah,
And it's personal as well, isn't it?
He told us about that. He told us about that
Dad,
on I
Dad,
think his second last live. Mike told us about that.
yeah.
He put on a USB and he said, I don't know whether I'll put it up or not yet. So
That was the
he
reason he started his channel in the first place. Was Mike's plans was to write a book, but because he knew that his diseases and things and his being wasn't going to last enough time for a book to be wrote and published, he decided to start putting it out on YouTube. That's why it's important, guys, to keep his work alive and keep sharing and things,
and
because
support
that's what
Pete.
he wanted. Yeah,
Definitely
yeah,
support Pete. But he has written the book. He's called it The Naked Truth. Hang on, I've got it written down.
right.
The Naked Truth, A Mountain Boy's Paranormal Journey is what he called it. But
Right,
he had a lot of legal things going on with his family
right,
because they were mentioned in it. So that was why it never came out before his passing, was because they didn't want certain things in it. So he was going to have to rewrite it.
right,
But he said
right. Which
that it was
that's
still going to get,
understandable.
yeah, he said that it was still planning on going out, but if he passed away before it was out, his manager, and then he goes, yes, I have a manager, as he does.
Yeah,
He was going to get his manager to do it. So
right.
hopefully it does. But that was what the
Be
original
right back.
title of the book was.
No bother. That's good, then. That's good because it's important. Mike's work was really, it was at a stage, I think, where he knew that people were going out paranormal investigating, and people are running into some of these entities. I remember he was on a live stream and he was telling us about something that had happened that day or the weekend or something, where his son and daughter was out on the property and he could hear like screaming and could hear things running through the son and daughter could hear things running through the trees and doing like a really, really hard crying sound. So it shows you that something really was on his property, and he did have to keep putting boundaries up right to the end. I don't know if he
Yeah,
ever
if you
found out what
remember,
that was.
he did. Remember, he did that blood ritual, the live blood ritual.
Yeah,
That was to get rid of that
that's right. So
entity
it was. That's
that he
right. Because
had
he
on that
walked us
property
down,
because,
didn't he? Yeah,
yeah, he
that's right. I
knew he
remember
didn't
him
have
walking
long.
us down there. Sorry,
Yeah,
Christine.
that's okay. He said he didn't have long to go, so he wanted to do that ritual to hopefully get rid of that entity, and that's when he drew upon his guide.
Yeah,
And if you watch that, you could actually hear his voice change to his guide talking through him
yeah.
during
I
that
remember.
blood ritual. Um,
You
and
actually,
yeah,
you actually do feel it. He did warn everybody when he was doing it to keep their energies up because you did actually feel the energy. You could feel what he was
but he
conjuring.
also warns people if they didn't want things to happen, experiences to happen to them,
Yeah,
to cut off too. Because I
yeah,
had an experience with him. Brianna had an experience with him. Brianna still does now. He still travels in her car with her. But it's that residual from that ritual that we watched. I had a Jenny. I had a dream. He came to me in my dream. But as he said, it's not him. Sorry,
right.
I missed what just came up. What was that?
Oh, it was to tell her just to keep us up. That's why I flash it on the screen so that anybody watching the video sees it.
Yep.
To remember her to tell her when the book comes out.
Oh, don't
We
worry.
will.
Hey,
I
This
Ari.
we
think
will.
Chris. I think Chris will know before any of us because Chris is
Yeah,
getting in touch with Pete. So,
we'll definitely find out.
I think if any of us find out, absolutely, we all would love a copy of it. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, like he did, I think it was on one of his lives. If he regrets anything or if he misses, he wishes he had done lives on other subjects. And there was about 4 or 5 subjects that
Yeah.
he wishes he had spoken about.
Yeah, there was always
So
ghost hunting things, experiences and things like that. He always was
yeah,
going to come up and
uh,
tell us about and
yeah,
things.
and exorcisms and everything he did and other adventures. Like
Yep.
he didn't, he had no religion. at first, and he went traveling around the world. Like, he never got to Australia, but he went to New Zealand, I think.
You could just
But
picture Mike as well doing it. That's the thing. You could just actually
I could
picture.
imagine him. Yep, and he wanted to meet Aboriginals, which are our Indigenous
Welcome in,
people in
everybody.
Australia. Like, you have your Native Americans in America. Our Aboriginals are our Indigenous people, and he wanted to meet them. I could just imagine him sitting down with them,
Oh yeah.
and learning all their, because they're very spiritual. They have all native plants and berries and everything that they do, just like Native Americans with their medicines. It's all mostly, well, I don't know about now. It used to be before white man. All very herb and nature related.
Yes.
But he never got to do that.
I know. It'd be interesting. I remember he told us about the telephone, and I think it's on the channel, guys. You need to watch. Honestly, go back all his videos and watch these. He was telling us about the telephone that does actually connect to the other side. And on his anniversary, I think it's his anniversary, his wedding or something.
His anniversary.
He gets to talk. You better be watching
his birthday. I'm not sure if it was his birthday. It was something to do with Pete.
Yeah, or is it
Pete showed us the picture. Yeah, Pete showed us the picture of it, and he was waiting for his father. It was a certain day.
Yes.
At 11 o'clock at night. It rained.
Yes. Did they actually do it? I meant to check.
He did do it, but he didn't give us an update whether it rained.
Right. Okay. That's
so maybe that's something we can ask him when he opens up his channel.
Definitely. I just think he was an amazing guy. He was one of the people, much like when I met Uncle Danny. When I met Uncle Danny, and we started going live with him, and he started opening up about what he did for like his work. Well, he's going into people's houses and his encounters and things, and then. With Uncle Dan, it was just one little gem after another that he was telling us. And it's much the same with Mike. With everything he told you, you thought that it couldn't get any weirder, any stranger. And in the next live stream, it always did. It was just he's one of the people that could tell you about things that happened that you only read about in books or see on the TV. It's sci-fi, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, no matter what the religion was too, he knew all about it because he travelled to hundreds of churches learning about all the different cultures to try and find himself. That was what he said.
Yeah.
He was on his path to find himself. And that was when he found voodoo. And it was when he met Papa Thomas that he felt like he was home.
You got any thoughts, ladies, you want to add? Just chime in at any time. We'll just sit and blather.
I have a question about the apple tree. Did he ever figure out what the very beginning of the apple tree?
No. And if you look back through, he actually had a degree in botany. He had, I think he was saying he had numerous degrees, but he actually had a degree in botany. They don't know where it came from. They don't know how it started. But he tried to find out what type of apple it was, and he couldn't. There was
it used to smell, didn't it? He said that it used to smell. It was a really, really bad odour. So I get my juice.
It didn't smell well, and it only fruited and it wasn't just picked over days. It was all picked over one day. All the apples. No matter how high, there was no evidence of cause or anything. They were just gone. But he tried to find out what species it was, and it's an unknown species.
Yes.
But he had
a couple of seeds, didn't he? He had a couple of seeds left, I think. I remember him saying. Yeah. Because he had to be very careful where they landed.
I think the tree was actually already on the property when Mike took it over.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I was
probably.
wondering, where it
Yeah.
actually originated from.
It was there when he went onto the property, and then he started researching and studying into why that tree was doing what
Oh,
it was doing and why it looked different to the other ones and things like. He was trying to find out, like Sister Christine said, like trying to find out what the tree was about.
I
And he
wonder
did
if
find
that
out.
tree had anything to do with him
Oh.
unconsciously buying that property, if it was drawing him in.
I think the property was on his for generations. I think it was like came
Yeah.
down through the generations.
Oh.
Handed down.
Yeah,
It was
handed
handed down,
down.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, his
Oh,
family.
okay.
His
Oh,
family actually run like a big orchard there, and they do sell all the orchard stuff, all the orchard fruits and things. I do believe. Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
quite
they
a big
do.
business there. Uh-huh.
They do. And they've got the greenhouse as well that Pete was saying you don't go into after sunset, because things happen.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
loads of things, guys. There is so much he told us you need to watch. I'm still taking notes.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing the same thing. I actually have a book up there. It's got Mike's notes.
Yeah. He
But
explains
like
everything so well. Even skinwalkers, guys, he explains it in a way that you understand it a bit more, doesn't he? And he doesn't call them skinwalkers as well. A lot of the things he calls them
no,
by their native names.
yep,
yeah, skinwalkers
yeah,
is a
he,
general thing for all of them that switch, that
Yeah,
change.
yeah.
But
He had
skinwalkers is a well-known word that everybody knows.
Mhm.
Huh.
Have you got any more thoughts on anything mystical?
No, actually, I'm just kind of asking questions as we go.
Yeah. What about you,
'Cause
Sherry? Do you want to add anything?
No, I just like I don't know. I like to just like hear about
Yeah,
him and
hear the
stuff.
stories
Like
about him.
I had a lot of experiences with Mike and heard
I
a lot
just
of
think
very
he was
interesting
funny.
things with him,
Yeah.
and
I always
you
think
know,
if you can get somebody that can give you knowledge, and they don't do it like a way that the old professors and things do it, they do it in a way that's fun, a way that's got learn experiences that they've experienced either personally or somebody close to them personally. That to me piques my interest when it's somebody that the things have happened to them or like that. That piques my interest. I love hearing stories. That's why it was so good to have Mike every Wednesday night to ourselves.
he was very
That's
good at telling his
because,
stories. Very, very good.
yeah, and it sounds like he did it in the right way. You can tell people things and they'll listen, but it doesn't sink in. But if you give them enough of little tidbits of stuff for them to start researching and wanting to get interested, that's when they learn.
Yeah,
That's when they
yeah.
start learning. Because if you
It's
just
true.
tell them, it's nothing if you just tell them. But you give them enough, let them start biting on it, and then that's where
Yeah,
they start
pique their
learning
interest.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris always said that when he met Dave Schrader, that was the only time he had seen Mike gobsmacked was when he went up on the James Schrader show when he actually brought into the
And he was
Golden
polite.
Box.
He didn't swear or do anything. Like he was very polite. Very like
Mhm. Very
he,
not
he,
Mike.
it was his
he
dream
wasn't the
come
way
true.
he wasn't the way that we knew Mike to be when he met him.
No,
And even
Yeah.
the day
He
on the
was
stream when before we actually went up there and had a show with Dave Strider, he was on the show with Chris and Dakota, and he was up
nervous.
there, and you just but he didn't say anything. He was just gobsmacked.
it was his dream come true.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
He never,
I think a lot of us met. That's where I met Chris as well. Was on the Dave Schrader show. I was sitting.
I
It
don't
was
know who
just
that
before
is.
Christmas. He done the Paranormal 60. Basically, years ago, there wasn't any radio stations or anything that used to talk
he
about
used to do darkness
paranormal and
radio.
bodies and things. I did Darkness Radio. And then when YouTube and things came out, he started on YouTube. And I was sitting watching, I think it was one of his live streams one night, or just listening to it, like on the Paranormal 360 screen, and chat was going
Well,
up,
he
and I had
also,
read about being for Lanark, and Christopher said he was for Douglas, and for then on we started ghost hunting. So Dave Schrader brought a lot of people together, I think.
I first saw Dave Schrader on the Holzer Files on TV.
Right, that's a good show.
So
Yeah.
he's had Holzer
Welcome
Files
in,
and Ghost
Midnight
of Devil's
Paranormal.
Perch on TV.
Welcome in, Midnight.
Go ahead, sorry.
On you go, Christine. It's okay.
Sorry.
No, that was it. He's
Yeah,
had
he's
two
had a
TV
lot of
shows, The Holzer
shows.
Files and Ghost of Devil's Perch.
What I liked about the Holzer Files was they actually
Phoenix
got
says
deep
Woody's
down
back.
in. They get, oh, is she back? I like the Holzer Files because they get right deep into the history and tried to place it together.
Now,
They actually debunked quite a few legends, a few houses. So they did.
I like
So
the fact that they
amazingly well
went in.
there.
Yeah, I like the fact that they went in with minimal equipment. They used the Holzer method, which was, and they had his daughter involved as well.
Yeah.
And the Holzer method was basically you go in with minimal equipment, so you have your K2 meter maybe, digital voice recorder, but they mainly went off a medium. So
Yeah.
they had Cindy Kaiser go in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the one that they done. I think what house was it? The Whaley house they did, and Dave Schrader was standing, and the spirit must have hit his side, and he goes down like that.
Pushed him
floor.
into the wall. Yeah, they pushed him into the wall. That was when, they were provoking at the start of that a bit though. So, and it was like, well, try me. So the spirit tried him. Yeah.
Goodness. We tell you not to provoke as well, and then one of the biggest names in paranormal goes and provokes. Oh dear.
Well, he showed you what can happen.
Welcome, Midnight. How are you been, brother? You're well.
Learn, I guess, if you didn't have them do those sort of things. At least you learn when you watch them do that. You think, yeah, okay, so you don't have to. We won't do that.
I do believe sometimes you do have to provoke a little bit, especially maybe in the bigger locations where the spirits need a little bit more push to come out because there's that many people. Oh, there he's in just now, son of the naked Bigfoot.
Yeah, just
welcome in. Dave Schrader was the only famous and noteworthy modern paranormal that Dad respected, trusted, and admired. I'm honoured that you came in. Thank you for coming in. You've made my day.
Thanks, Kate.
And I'm bloody bummed. I'm bummed that I missed John Ghost Squad Scotland the other night. So I am.
Welcome in,
all the nights my battery runs out. Hi, Techno. Welcome in.
Yeah, as soon as you got off, Drew, as soon as you went dead. Well, not you went dead. As soon as your internet went dead,
you know what I said?
Was on.
That's that Mike putting a joke on me.
As soon, and I was like, man, Drew just left.
I said, that'll be Mike just putting a little fly joke. Run my battery out on me. We're looking forward to getting to know you, Pete. You can join us if you want. There is no pressure whatsoever, but you can join us if you want. The link is there, buddy. We just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about your dad and some of our memories with him, now that it's not so raw. But yeah, he was an amazing character. He was well loved in the community, and he will never be forgotten. We will always be sharing and talking about him and keeping people in the interest of our Mike.
And I'm learning a lot about him.
Yeah, I recommend everybody goes through his channel and just sit and listen to all these live streams and take notes, because these entities are out there, especially in America. You know, take notes and see if you can contact them when you're out in these places, and then when you go to these places as well, you can ask more questions and then add to Mike's work, you know.
I still haven't been able to listen to his shows.
Yeah, I only have just been able.
It's really, really difficult to do it at the minute. Like obviously, I will get back round to doing it, but to me, it's just really difficult. It's really difficult.
Yeah. It's because he was such a strong character in the community. Mike always came in and said hello and
big
things,
loss.
even if he wasn't feeling 100%. If he's seen you live or if he's
And
seen
no
one of
matter
your
what,
videos, yeah, he always
yeah,
came in. He
no
always
matter what,
supported
no
you.
matter how sick he was driving home from the well, I think Pete was driving him home from the hospital, and he's on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
no,
telling
I
us that he's
remember
coming
that
home.
video.
yeah. You know he was
Yeah,
loved. I do believe he knew he was loved. And if we
And I,
do film
I
around
remember
him,
the show that he had with Chris and Dakota that I was up on with, like, when a couple of days before he passed away, and you could tell that he wasn't good then, and it's
that's
been
right.
really,
It
really, really
started
hard.
off as fireside talk with Mike, and then it got to what the fuck.
Yeah,
Joe was named
yeah,
twice.
yep.
Sorry,
We never
Sass,
saw
on you.
we never saw the fire though in his fireside chat.
He was the fire.
well, it literally was.
Yeah,
He did
Yeah,
yeah.
every time he set his shows on fire, literally, just with the way that he was and that
yeah.
he
His
was
little girl guide.
remarkable.
I remember when we were going to. I was one of the times I either interviewed him or he came into one of the live streams. I think it was when I interviewed him, and I brought down the little doll for his girl spirit because he told me that she was really protective of him. So I brought down one of my little like a little doll thing I've got, and I brought it down and I said, "This is for your little girl attachment. I've dedicated this to her," and kind of gave her a present on the live so that she didn't, so that she liked me. I've still got it upstairs, so it's still that little girl's doll.
So, in other words, it was a bribery.
Yes, it was kind of a bribe, yes, for her to like me.
She was a she was a very powerful energy. Even though she was a
Yeah,
little girl, she was a very powerful energy, and she had another side to her. So it was only really Mike that could control her completely. And she, like Drew said, she was very, very protective of Mike, and people would be able to feel when she was around. Most
Welcome
definitely,
in, Kyle.
welcome.
definitely.
Yeah,
Some
I
of
was
us,
terrified.
some of us
I'm terrified I answered
feel
the
a
wrong
little bit
question.
sick. Some of us used to feel a little bit sick when she was around because she
Oh,
she was
really?
that powerful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when energies are real strong like that, it does give you a nauseating kind of. I call it a feeling like if you hadn't eaten the whole day and you start getting sick because
Yeah.
you're hungry. That's the kind
right.
of feeling that I kind of describe to people when they ask.
Yeah,
But
They ask
definitely.
obviously, as
about
Yeah.
that.
time went on and he came on more and stuff like that, we did start to get used to the energy. We used to know when she was there and things, you know what I mean? But at first, yeah, she was really, really powerful on that.
Yeah,
And
she
like
right, you
he did
love.
mention that he asked her what was going to happen to her when he passed away because he was attached to
I never
her as
thought of
well.
that.
It's someone he had his whole life.
Yeah.
And she told him that she will be with him when he passes as well. So she was
So she would
continuing
go
into
as
the
well
next
She would
life
then.
go
with
with
him.
him, yeah.
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 So we'd finally have got to meet her then. That's good, isn't it?
But that's what
And I
normally
love,
happens. Like when you've got guides and things like that, they do go over with you. They do
yeah,
Because
go.
they're there
but I
with you
love
and
that,
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah. The part of
they're
you,
normally
yeah,
the
isn't
ones that are there and take you over to the other side. They normally, you know,
Yeah, did Woody ever go
and
away?
yeah.
it?
Woody's
Oh,
gone
yeah,
now.
but
He's
in a
not there at the
way.
minute.
Woody's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I must say too, Pete, thank you for showing those pictures that Mike had done, of the photos that Mike had done, and also showing his interpretation of his no-eyed girl. It was
Yeah.
exactly
I'll need
how
to
I
look
thought of
at
it.
that. I'll need to, it's on
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah, it's on Twitter.
I'll need to have a look. I'll put all the
Yeah,
links in the description as well, guys.
there's
You'll need to check them out, honestly.
yeah, there's a couple of pictures there.
No.
And he did a picture of his no-eyed girl.
Brilliant. I'll need to look at that. I wonder what she looks like. I've always wondered. In fact, I've got Twitter here. Get the note I see, guys.
I don't think that she's going to be the way that people expect her to look.
No,
You think
She's not like
not?
the little girl that
it
you
was
think
how
that
I
she's going
thought.
to look like. Yeah.
I thought of her like that. Maybe not with so much hair over her face, but very much in that manner was how I imagined her and pictured her from what Mike had said.
I've not seen it yet, but I vision her looking quite haunted.
Yeah,
Not
I can
like
envision, but not really
girl, not
articulate.
what you would expect a little girl spirit to look like.
No.
Not at all.
It reminds me actually of Japanese mythology.
I get, like, when he used to speak about her and stuff, to me, she reminds me of that girl that is in that ring, that thing that comes out going,
Yes.
like
Yes,
that. That's
absolutely.
what I get the
Oh, they're
out
right.
the eyes. Oh my God, that makes me shake. I really don't like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is most definitely let's get the girl out of the ring. Like, oh my God.
See, because
That's
she's
one
doing
energy
that, though,
that's
she's
scares the
got a
hell out
bit
of
of fun about her. To me, she probably looks like that because she's been hurt or something, and maybe her
Yeah.
face is this thing we'd. So she is actually, if you look at her leg, she's having a bit of fun. She's kicking her leg up and leaning against a tree. So to me, she's like maybe
Show it again. I can't see it for the glare. Show it again because I had not seen it. Turn it like up or down. I can't make it out with the glare. Crap. Okay.
Yeah, she's in the corner. This is her here. This is her head.
Okay, I can't make it out with
I'm
the
gonna
glare.
have to go. Sorry, honey.
Okay.
I've got to go and get to my appointment. So.
Okay, right. You keep your chin up, okay? We're sending you love and strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in, Christine.
No worries. I'll watch the rest of it. After
Okay, well, don't be too much longer anyway. Okay, love you, sis. Bye for now.
Thanks, darling. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I waved too late.
No.
Put her back. Let me wave.
Which definitely was the way that I pictured her to be, because I didn't see her as being a normal looking girl spirit.
I'll send you.
Yeah.
I'll take a screenshot and send you after the live.
Okay.
She looks to me, she does look cold bad. Yeah.
Not, you know.
You know, I was thinking the only doll that I have in this whole room is the witch doll that Lee bought me, and I have it sitting up on the shelf. And you know how I've told you how he is pertaining to spirits. I pray to God that thing never falls off that shelf. He'll be running out the front door.
Yeah, I thought your dad would maybe have been a good photographer because he has got a lot of good pictures and things up as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, out the ring midnight.
It does look like that's what I was saying. It looks like the ring chick. Yeah. And that's what I always got that, like, whenever he was
in the group
panel on that, and he would say that she was there. That's always the vision I'd got, like a dark-haired girl, like without the eyes, obviously. And I just don't know why. I always thought it was the ring, like not her out of the ring, obviously, but
that kind of image. Like to me, she's probably protecting them because maybe. And the hair, of course, over her eyes is maybe just because she's maybe scarred for whatever way she died or whatever, you know.
But she's got no eyes, so she probably doesn't like people to see that. She probably don't want people to be scared of her. Because, you know, anybody coming across a spirit that ain't got no eyes, they're going to be automatically probably think, oh, she's not to be messed around with. When they're not all evil. Like, don't get me wrong, she was really powerful. She is a very powerful energy, very, very powerful.
Did they ever say what age she was? Because to me, that she maybe looks about.
I'd say she looks like she's like maybe 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think she's little. I think she's maybe like a teenager, like young teenager. That's what it comes across.
So with Son of Naked Bigfoot, so Pete, because I was wondering if he actually ever physically saw her with his eyes, or if it was more of what he felt. Huh?
In putting up about clowns, I fear clowns. I don't fear dolls, but clowns, no.
Yeah, no, I think he did actually see her a few times. Mike seen her a lot, I think, with the way he spoke. I think he actually physically did see her. She wasn't just like in his mind or anything. I think he's seen her right in the room.
Oh yeah, no, he did say that he used to see her on a regular basis.
Yeah. She was
Oh,
always
okay.
around.
Yeah.
That's why I was so scared. I was fearing in case I said something wrong and offended him and she got offended. I was fearing in case she came through the screen like, come
Everybody
here.
was careful with what they said to Mike when he was on panel, because we didn't really know what she was going to be like and that,
Yeah.
from what he would say about her and that. You know what I mean? 'Cause she was very
Yeah, he did
protective
tell
of
you that
Mike.
she was protective of
Yeah,
him. Yeah,
very
definitely.
protective of him. Yeah.
Is there
Didn't know they
anybody else
just,
want to add anything about Mike, guys? And we'll get the list of things all up for him. Anybody else want to share anything?
Techno mentioned about the clowns. I sell so many clowns on eBay.
Oh,
It's
do
unreal.
you?
Every clown that Leah or I see when we go to state sales, garage sales, or whatever, we buy them and we sell. I would say probably in a year, I probably sell, I don't know, maybe 30 of them or something.
I'll
I
need
sell
to
a
do
lot
that
of
then when
clowns.
I'm doing my Etsy shop. I'm going to make the launch the first of the month or something like that. So I'll need to look for it for clowns and things as well then. And Pete is saying I would only see her in the periphery of my vision. So even Pete can sense her. Have you sensed her around for your dad left? If you know what I mean. I don't like saying for your dad.
I don't think that
Past.
she would.
Well,
I
You
don't
say
think she'd
past.
fully. I don't
Yeah,
think she would
past.
fully leave. I think she is there to protect them as well now. Like, because
Yeah.
Mike's over that side. I think if Mike, obviously Mike's going to be there looking over him and protecting him, so I think she will be as well.
They're probably partying
Right.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Iron
They
Fire
were
says.
joint, weren't they? If you think about it, from when he was young, they were joint. They've always been connected. So I can't see her going once he's gone. You know what I mean? She'll be with him.
Yeah.
So.
Iron Fire says, I was in the hospital as a kid and hallucinated a trunk with coats on it that opened and creepy dolls and clowns came out of it. Laugh out loud. Haven't liked them since, even though it was just
the
drugs.
Teach you to be a druggy girl.
That's it. Those clowns will come. And they won't be nice. They'll have big sharp teeth.
I've never liked clowns.
Clowns has never bothered. There's not really too much that does bother me.
Yeah, I don't bother them either. Honestly, the only thing that has ever scared me, and this is the God's honest truth, is the old vampire looking grandpa thing in the old Salem's Lot. See the old vampire guy that comes up through the floor with the blue face and the vampire teeth? That is the only vision that actually scares the bejesus out of me.
So does that mean if Liam, how you say your son's name? Liam?
Liam.
If he ever dresses up for Halloween as a vampire, you gonna freak?
Yeah. Oh no, he was never allowed to dress as any vampires or anything like that. Especially scary ones.
Yeah, that's not too
Well,
much.
if anybody else want to add anything about our Mike, I do believe Christopher is also doing a show about Mike, and he's going to introduce Pete to the community, guys. So, anybody else want to add anything about Mike before we go?
I don't really want to add anything about Mike. I just want to say how honoured I was to be able to know him, and to be able to have shows with him. I was really honoured to be able to have him for an interview. I had been trying to get Mike for months and months and months, and he finally did. I think it was about a month or so before he passed away. I don't like saying that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It made my day, see, because he was just one person I wanted so badly on my show, and when he came up, that made my day. And I'm just honoured to have known him and to be able to experience with him.
That's what we'll do, guys.
We'll put I love you, Mike.
Yeah, the interviews.
We love you, and we miss you very much. Yeah.
Remember, what we do to do, see after the show, put the link in the comment to your Mike interview, put a comment and let people watch that as well, and I'll do the same, because it was a good laugh, guys. You need to watch some of the interviews and things with him. It was fun.
So I want to go and watch the video on the apple tree. Remember the name of that? So I'm not looking through hundreds of videos.
Phoenix has put it in the Coven group.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I
and
just
I will
want-
get back round to watching his shows, and that's just been really difficult at the minute. But
That
I
is
will
hard.
get back to him because he's
Because
got a lot of knowledge.
everybody has their own time when they're ready. My mother
I
has
think it's
passed
with
years and
everything
years
that
and
I've been
years.
going through. I think
Mhm.
it's with what I've been going through as well. It's been a bit too hard at the minute. You
Yeah.
know, but I will get there.
Yeah. Well, my mother passed years and years and years and years ago, and I have her picture up on the wall with the saying that they had put. To this day, I have never read it because I cannot bring myself to. So, and it's been years. So everybody has their own time.
I can start watching them now. Now I'm at a stage where I see the fun in them again, but I got to the stage where I was trying to watch his videos and I just got to about 3 sentences in and I was in tears. So
Yeah, but
I'm
that's
now
what
at the
happened with
stage
me. Like when I found out he passed away, I went on there to just like sort of thought it would comfort me and that, but I ended up just bursting out of tears, and I decided not to watch anymore. And I haven't been able to. I did try the other week to try, and I still cried. I was like, no, I'm not ready yet. So like, no.
Phoenix is saying she feels honoured to have known Mike as well.
Yeah, we all are. We're
I
all
feel
honoured.
honoured to have known him. I think he was one of the funniest guys that was on YouTube telling in this kind of community, telling talking about paranormal and things.
He
And
made
his
this
stories
community.
was amazing. The way he told them as well was just unique, you know.
Well, he was one of the guys that made this community. Obviously, there's
Yeah.
Pups and there's me, there's Drew, and all that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he most definitely. It's a big loss not having him in the community, and it's
He
really
won't
good
be
to
forgotten.
have you, Pete, to take that over. It's really we're looking forward to seeing what you'll
We're
bring.
definitely looking
the
forward
table
to
as
getting
well.
to know Pete. And I do hope, Pete, that you honour us with your presence at some point. I will let Christopher talk to you first personally, of course. But I hope that through time you can manage to come up on our channels and maybe talk to us a little bit about Mike and how it was to know him personally, if you don't mind. Because he was
That'd be
well
awesome.
loved, I can say that. And his memory won't die. We will always share his videos, share his knowledge, and share just the guy that was Mike, you know?
Exactly.
So,
He's always going to be there.
yeah. On that note, guys, I'm going to end the live. I'm going to make sure all the links are in the description of the video, especially to Pete's new channel, who is going to be sharing a lot about his dad and his work and things over there. Also about himself, I hope, and let us get to know you,
definitely.
and not just as Mike's son. Let's get to know Pete and welcome the community as well. Okay, guys, if there's nothing else you want to say, any live streams coming up you want to advertise?
Tomorrow, go for it, co-host.
Look, tomorrow night we have got Mystical Love and Lights channel, guys. As always, it will be 9 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Eastern Tennessee time. Is that right?
4 p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m.
4 Eastern, 9 UK.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So join us there, guys, and we will be talking about all things spiritual and spooky.
Drew,
And
you're
then
gonna
we
be
have Ghost Squad on Wednesday, and then back to us again. What's
So
that,
Drew's
sis?
gonna be there. I was gonna say Drew's gonna be there. Sherry, you coming in also? I put you on the deal. I'm figuring you'll be there.
Yes,
and
Sherry will
then
come.
October Rain Rocks is gonna be
Yes,
our
you'll-
special guest. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. And I'm going to have a couple of musical shows and stuff, so keep an eye out through the week and that, guys. I'm not really doing a lot of paranormal stuff in the minute because of the way I've been, but I will be back. We'll
That's
see.
okay. As long as you're still out here and we still see your beautiful face, you're fine. Okay?
Yep.
Exactly.
Right, okay, guys. I will see you all tomorrow then on Mystical Love and Lights channel. As always, keep smiling and keep all the positivity flowing. There's always something to smile about if you look, guys, okay? So bye for now. And supportive Mondays are back. So if you want anything to support on a Monday, just let us know. And we'll
Don't
have
leave
you
yet.
up.
Don't turn it off yet. Don't turn it off yet.
Okay.
Wait, Sherry, when you say and stay spooky, I was watching you the other day and you said and stay spooky and Lee was sitting next to me. He said, what? Stay spooky?
Yeah, I do. I go and stay spooky, guys. And love
yeah,
and
and Lee was like,
I always
what?
do.
Stay spooky?
But we
right.
are spooky. Look what we do.
What to stay spooky, Lee? Right, everybody, blessings for now, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love and light, guys. Very parting.